play.
All right, so to finish the thought from a few seconds ago, spawning up here on the top left-hand side of the map, spawning as the red Protoss pieces, we have Aurora.
And in the purple trunks, FallenDemise, our Zerg player, on the bottom left of Frost Ladder Edition.
From Clan Mad Mad.
Mad. Well, let's see if he's really mad.
Is it Mothers Against Drunk Driving ×2? Or is it, like, I just have to ask.
Mothers against a droning.
Mothers Against Drunk. So I'm actually kind of pumped that on day number 1 of season 2 we actually get to see a Protoss. Like I am.
You've just been waiting for this moment.
I do. I wait for this moment every time. What's that?
You and your love for Protoss, man.
Hey man, gotta show the Protoss some love.
You know, we haven't seen a Terran yet tonight.
That's true. Or maybe you should find a set out of the ones you got with the Terran in it, just to do it.
We'll think about it, all right? Hopefully it doesn't take me too long.
So, in this one, out of the Protoss player, my dog is killing esports again. Good lord!
You already took him out to shit, man.
Well, no, I mean I'm not talking about that. You can just hear him scratching in the microphone. But from the Protoss player, I would almost expect to see. Right now we have the gateway down, so it's too late for an FFE. But I would expect nothing less than some sort of either a 1-gate FE or an FFE.
You know, as a Protoss player, what do you think about the placement of that gateway?
It definitely it's
Especially
situational.
against Zerg.
Some players like to do that and don't really worry about. Yeah, and we do see the 1-gate FE. Like if you're gonna 1-gate FE like this, I honestly don't. Sorry again for the dog.
That's all right.
I don't see a problem putting it back here because you're not really trying to wall off for it. And usually your next couple of buildings are a forge and another gateway. So you use that to kind of constrict your front and you really don't worry about it beyond that. So I do like the placement of that. I feel like at least in the early game, it's pretty safe.
Yeah, and seeing this come together now, I can definitely see that. Obviously, the Nexus going down right there at the natural for Aurora.
And we do see actually FallenDemise is going to go ahead and drop down an expansion of his own. Going to get the pool. The pool is just about done. Looking at that timing, I'm not sure whether it was a pool first or a hatch first. I would actually assume pool first.
Yeah, it was pool first. Just 14 hatch, 14 pool. It's typical timings there out of FallenDemise. And there goes the Cyber in the Forge at the natural for Aurora. Like you said. And both of these players scouting opposite corners of the map first, then they now know where they are. That drone, FallenDemise, confirming that the top right is not occupied, and that Overlord telling him that his opponent is in the top left. And the probe will find FallenDemise here shortly. Ooh, and he sneaks the drone in. Not that it's going to tell him a whole lot.
Yeah, that's one of those things that occasionally happens if you're not really paying attention to your front wall and you forget to just put something on hold position, even if it's just that drone to hold that for the moment.
Yeah, and look at the third base going down for FallenDemise.
So actually, this is, I feel like a really standard play out of FallenDemise, but I also
Definitely.
feel like it is really, really greedy. Now, we don't see any gas yet, so
It
any
could
lings
be.
that any lings that do come out though are going to be slow lings, which
Yeah.
is why I consider this kind of greedy.
Well, you know, as a Zerg player, of course, you typically want to be a base ahead of your opponent, and you know when you see a forge and a cannon down as well as that fast expansion, I think you generally feel kind of safe, and you realize, you know, hey, I can probably take a third without being threatened too much. And look at the third for Aurora.
Now that is some gutsy play from Aurora. It's like you said, it's pretty typical for Zerg to be a base ahead of their opponent, regardless of which race it actually is. But
Stargate.
Protoss go do that. That's a little gutsy.
He's sitting on one gateway and the Stargate now in production. I'm going to go ahead and call Oracle.
I think you're actually about 90% correct, and the only reason I'm saying 90 is just in case.
Just in case he goes for them skill raise.
Yeah, I like that play a lot. I really like this opener. It's one that I've actually been trying to perfect on the ladder myself.
Yeah.
But
FallenDemise did see the double gas earlier on, but when your opponent's on two bases, I suppose it didn't really uh, tell him a whole lot of what's going on. He doesn't have a scout here. I mean, he has that Overlord, but that does not have vision of the Stargate, so he doesn't know that that is production. Yep, and there's the Oracle.
and you nailed it.
However, that Oracle is going to fly right by that Overlord, and so if he doesn't make use of it quick as soon as it's done, FallenDemise will be prepared. Most likely, I mean, there's always a chance that he won't catch the Oracle flying by.
And actually, it looks like he's prepared anyway. We do see some. Oh no, those are spines. I thought that said spore for a second there.
He does have one Spore Crawler at the third base.
Oh, there is. Okay, that must have been the one I clicked on then, but I assume they were all spore crawlers instead of the one spine.
Though the natural and the main are wide open.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to see if he actually does see this Oracle. Yes, he does.
There he goes, and we will see his response if he caught it. And he just dropped a Roach Warren, so I don't think he was really paying too much attention. And that could be that no Spore Crawlers going down. I don't think he saw that.
I don't think he did either. Now it looks like
he's dropping.
there
maybe
it
he
is.
did catch it. He's dropping
So that was-
4 spores.
that was a really delayed response, and we're going to see a few drone kills, but it looks like he's content just to let it do its damage and get picked off by this queen, and he's got to be really careful, otherwise it's going to fall. And he does make it out with 25 health left on that Oracle, but
And
8 kills coming out.
Yeah, that was I think that was very effective for Aurora there. 8 drone kills, and after that Oracle transitioning into Void Ray production.
Some skill ray production going to come out here. Pretty typical follow-up for the Protoss player. Now, one thing that did do for Aurora is definitely secure that third base a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. And he's also dropped a cannon there, and he's got some sentries for force fields and such, and the Mosho Core has arrived.
Yeah, I like this play a lot out of Aurora. It seemed like it was going to be a little hit or miss right at the beginning, but it seems like it definitely does stabilize at some point and become really, really effective. Because if you look at the economies right now, the Protoss is ahead, even though they're both on 3 bases.
Yeah, just slightly ahead in mineral income of his opponent, though their gas is pretty equal. There's 62 Harvesters for Aurora to 61 for FallenDemise, so I think it's pretty apparent from both of these players that they definitely have a grasp on the macro of their race, and expanding and droning up. Though FallenDemise is supply blocked, he did lose an Overlord somewhere.
And speaking of expanding, we do see FallenDemise also going ahead and taking his own 4th. It also looks like, just looking at Aurora's base right now, we do have 5 or 6 gateways out here, but it looks like Aurora content just to continue with Void Ray production at this point. And we do see a Robo facility going down, so probably going to supplement that ball with some charge lots and Immortals.
And the hallucination of the Phoenix there, going to do a little bit of scouting. With lots of Hydras popping out for FallenDemise, as well as researching Groove Spines and Chiroprace level 1. The Infestation Pit is done.
Yeah, and we do see level 2 Protoss ground weapons and level 1 air weapons coming out now, and continued Void Ray production out of Aurora. So it looks like Aurora literally is just going to try and supplement this with Immortals and Zealots, tacking down 1, 2, 3, 4 more gateways.
Wow.
Total gateway count up to 4, 7, 8, 9, 11 gateways for Aurora. This is insane.
Also notice the Hive Tech in progress for FallenDemise, as well as Hydra Speed and the level 2 Carapace, as well as level 2 missile attacks. So are we just going to see a massive Roach Hydra Ball? I don't know. It looks like he's definitely pumping those Hydras out, but I don't see a big ball of Roaches.
Yeah, I definitely think we're going to see just the very, very standard Roach Hydra, probably into Ultralisk, which turns out to be very, very potent until Void Rays come in.
That is true.
And especially if you're not keeping up on your upgrades, which FallenDemise is. FallenDemise now getting 2/2, but we also see level 2 ground weapons. So the Protoss player continuing to macro everything up as well. So when those death balls collide, I would actually put the Zerg in ahead.
But we do have the Robotics Bay in progress, so adding Colossus into that mix could be pretty devastating as long as there are gateway units to back it up.
Yeah, what I was about to say is just in terms of like sheer reinforcement value and reinforcement speed, I would definitely put the Zerg in front in that engagement, even if they were fully upgraded. And
The
everything.
Ultra Cavern has dropped. This has definitely been interesting so far. We haven't seen too much aggression out of either player aside from that Oracle harass we saw earlier on. Both players just sitting back and macroing up to tier 3. And I think that's really cool. I mean, the last few games we saw, the ZVZs, they were fairly short in early aggression, stuff like that. It's always fun to see a long macro game where both players get to death ball status and then just clash.
Yeah, now I don't know how I necessarily feel about this play out of Aurora going ahead and expanding in front of her, closer to her Zerg opponent. I don't know his Zerg opponent. Oh my god, I'm really sorry. If
I don't know. Most likely he. I think I've spoken to him before. Also, the Zealot run by there at the 4th, taking care of that Queen and causing FallenDemise to pull all of his drones back.
Yeah, and I like that play a lot, and I'm going to go ahead and burrow those drones. But yeah, I don't know how this is going to work out, having this base as a forward base. Now, those cannons, not going to finish before everything gets there.
No.
The army is there to back it up and defend everything, but I think this Nexus is going to fall.
The Nexus will fall, and that is just too many Stalkers for Fallen to handle, so that's a good choice to just get out of there.
Nice blink forward as well, and the miscue with the force field, putting it right in the middle of where that Nexus could go.
FallenDemise does lose his 4th base here on the bottom right of Frost. Sending a few links in there to attempt to clean it up, but it's just not going to work.
The Zealots when Zealots get up to even 2-0, they are very, very effective at just doing this, just lots and lots of harassment. This is also really good to keep the Zerg player under control while you go ahead and make your own death ball.
Exactly, I was going to mention that's got to be very annoying for FallenDemise. And he's going to lose his queens here. Oh, burrows him, but there's an observer. It was a good attempt.
It was a valiant attempt.
Looks like his FallenDemise going to decide to deal with this wall of Stalkers and Immortals, or is he going to take care of these Zealots that just continue to warp in here at the bottom right?
I would just like to point out that, like, back in Wings of Liberty, one of the toughest compositions to deal with was still Immortal Colossus Blink Stalker, and it is, to this day, still one of the hardest to deal with, especially when supplemented by Void Rays and other Tier 3 units.
Look at the amount of Ultralists that have just spawned from FallenDemise.
Oh my god, I love
7
this.
Ultras.
You know, we were talking about Baneling boners earlier. This definitely gives me an Ultra boner.
An Ultra boner?
An Ultra boner.
What about the Viper boner here? We've got Vipers on the way, and
Vipers are on the way, but
Blinding Cloud, this could be so effective. It's going to use it.
Oh.
There goes the Blinding Cloud and yanks that Colossus to its death.
Very nice play by Fallen.
That was very good. He is going to be forced to retreat there a little bit. The Immortals are going to do a number to those Ultras, but I don't think there are enough. And I think it's... I don't know, man. The Blinks... The Blink micro from Aurora is just phenomenal, and that is just keeping those alive while they pick away at those Ultras.
Yeah, I'm going to force the fallback here from Fallen. That was some really good pulls and really good blinding clouds, though, for Fallen. That was definitely a really good engagement by both players.
Yeah, both of them just handled their armies very well. Aurora, with that Blink micro, just keeping the Stalkers alive. FallenDemise lost all of his Ultras.
Uh-oh. And the blink forward, and yeah. There we go.
Take care of those overseas there. Cancels them.
One thing I would like to see, though, is Fallen go ahead and take all these drones off back here.
Yeah, he's
the ones that are...
Fallen has a bunch of them burrowed there, and they've been burrowed for quite a while there. I wonder, he's got plenty of money. He could just go ahead and re-expand since Aurora does not have any Zealots left, though the proxy pylon is still there. But are we going to see another engagement here?
I think we are, but at the same time, I don't know that... no, Fallen did not notice that there's a Stalker over here holding that watchtower, so that Stalker does, in fact, see everything that just walked by.
Indeed, he is going to get pushed from behind as he tries to take out the third base for Aurora. This is not going to be good. FallenDemise can reposition his forces and try to engage this a little bit better, yet he knows that his opponent will be closing in on him. But, oh, man. I think, I don't think this is good enough. That was a great pull on the Colossus, but he wasn't able to snipe it. The Ultras are just getting stuck behind all the other units. This is not what he wants. And the Tempest joined the fight. Aurora just all over the tech tree. forcing FallenDemise to retreat. FallenDemise did needlessly lose a few units there, though he did get that third base, so that could be pretty tough for Aurora to handle. And the Zealot Warp in there at the bottom right, causing FallenDemise to cancel that fourth base once again. The X fourth, now the fifth.
One thing to note, though, too, there is a DT down there. DT are insane.
It actually does get taken care of with the color falls.
Level. What's that?
Well, FallenDemise just definitely had to take care of those zealots there. He still has not grabbed that fourth base again.
Yeah. And definitely, like, level 3 DTs are nothing to mess with, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think
since they almost one-shot Hydras.
This is definitely good coming from Aurora here. That pylon placement just forcing his opponent to just stay away from this base. He hasn't been able to take this entire game. He's tried to get it times.
Yeah, and I mean, he definitely does know that there's another pylon up there, and he's got the vision now from the Viper to deal with it. But we do see a counterattack coming over here from Aurora, another warp into Stalkers over here at the fourth, and a fifth going down for Aurora. Now, that fifth is going to be kind of hard to deal with, but I'm not sure that Fallen even knows about it.
It's far away, and really, Fallen should not have to worry about it right now. He needs to worry about this giant army of Stalkers and Colossi, and Tempest thrown in there. Though, just sniping that base and taking off, I really like that.
Yeah, that definitely puts a kink into Fallen's...
Fallen, ET forces to cancel again on...
and one-shots the drone.
Of course, this pylon here has proved invaluable for Aurora to just contain the Zerg opponent, keep him busy while pushing in other places. If he can't do something and grab a base, he is going to fall behind. Oh, he's sneaking this base way over here.
Yeah, Fallen sneaks that base and then goes ahead and takes his own fourth again. And we do see kind of the ultras and whatnot coming back. Not sure if he just doesn't feel safe to attack right now or what the deal really is. Now, if we go ahead and look at the upgrades of Aurora, he's on 1-1 upgrades with level 1 shields. The ground army is on 3-2 with level 1 shields. So it's definitely a force to be reckoned with. I do like putting these Tempests in here as well to help try and deal with those Ultralisks since they do extra damage to Massive.
FallenDemise has also stayed on top of his upgrades. The Ultralisks are at 5-2, and the Roaches and Hydras are at 3-2. So, and he's also maxed. Meanwhile, Aurora was able to go from 160 to about 196 supply here just over the past minute. So, just about maxed himself. And these death balls are going to clash at any minute now. Ooh, the Zealot Warp in there going to take...
And I actually think this may have been just a ploy to draw the army back, potentially free up some supply for something else. More, I would say almost more Colossi would be Colossi and Immortal. One thing I would have liked to have seen out of Aurora, though, is more than one Robo. Now, I understand that the original focus was definitely on Stargate tech, and we do see 3 Stargates in Aurora's base with a fleet beacon, but that fleet beacon has only been used for all of, 4 Tempests? 5 Tempests.
FallenDemise also does not have his Vipers with... and as I say that, he takes control of them and sends them up to the death ball up here.
This composition is going to be really hard to deal with, though, for the Zerg player.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially with that amount of Tempests, the Hydras, there just aren't enough Hydras to actually take those down. I'd say, I think Corruptors are needed for something like that. But we are going to see an engagement here.
No, I would just like to point out I was wrong. I was corrected by someone in the chat. Tempest do plus bonus damage to massive air units. So
air units only. Not only 33 to ground units, but either way with those Archons.
Yeah, this is pretty rough to deal with for anybody.
Ultras with 5 armor still just getting torn apart. I was very surprised to see them die so much. And there's a GG from FallenDemise.
So Aurora going to go ahead and take a lead in this series 1-0.
I actually expected that engagement to go over differently, just because of that amount of almost fully upgraded Ultralisks. Those Tempest, I almost think that he was just target firing those Ultras down.
Yeah, but at the same time, I can kind of see where that engagement went that way with Fallen basically attacking into a choke point.
Yeah.
You definitely had Aurora set up, ready to go. It may not have looked like it, but Aurora was in a really good spot to defend that position.
Also the blink micro that he has, just very effective at keeping those stalkers alive. All right. Ooh, I got to disable flux. Turning on when I don't want it to. All right. Let us get into game 2.
Yay. Game number 2.
On Star Station.
Wonderful. To answer Ninja Bird's question, the day-night show matches are live. These are all replays from various seasons, primarily season 2 in this run.
Yeah, these were all played. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say maybe a month and a half ago, since you guys are in week 6 right now, I believe. So definitely before the recent patch. That's why we are having to load these replays up on our own. And I will go ahead and stop at the 0-second mark. Let me know when you guys are ready.
Go ahead.
0? All right. No problem. Though I do think we did have plans for a live finals for this season of DKTL. So just keep that in mind. We haven't quite ironed out the details just yet, but just stay tuned for more on that. Alrighty, so 3, 2, 1, play. All right, on the top left here of Star Station Tournament Edition, we have our red Protoss player, Aurora, up 1-0 in the series.
Spawning down here on the bottom right-hand side of the map, from Mad, we have FallenDemise spawning as the purple Zerg pieces.
Still haven't quite figured out what that client tag stands for. I mean, it was obvious that it was not against droning, so that's out of the question.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
But Aurora, the lone wolf, not repping any clan.
That's right.
And once again, the pylon behind the minerals. Now, it may not be significant, but also the placement of that pylon does save you on mining time because you don't have to set a probe way out there and back.
Yeah, that is one thing that a lot of people don't do it a whole lot anymore.
So here we go. I mean, we've got some flat level play here, I suppose.
There you go.
I did not actually go ahead and research the player skills that we were dealing with tonight, but I mean that clearly what we saw last game was gold, plat, maybe even into diamond level play.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. That was really well played by Aurora. And again, we see the placement in the same spot. I'm going to go ahead and send that probe out.
Indeed. And also the drone for FallenDemise here to drop that natural expansion. And gas, of course, for Aurora. He does have the next probe rallied out to the natural. So I'm expecting we're going to see something pretty similar here to what we saw last game.
Yeah, and I think, again, this just comes down to the comfort level that people have. They get comfortable in one build, they perfect it, which is not a bad thing at all.
I certainly play that way. You know, I pretty much practice a build over and over and over again until I feel really good about it. And at the same time, you have people who just don't like that at all. They find it boring. You know, for example, Scipio, who pretty much wings every game and has some moderate success with it.
Yeah, you know, I'm personally a fan of pick, build, master it myself. I don't know. I find that it's easier for me to learn that way.
Yeah, definitely, because when you research a build like that and practice it over and over again, you start to learn why it works, and that inherently helps you learn more about game mechanics and things like that. and you can more easily learn other builds when the macro starts to evolve and things like that. So warp gate on the way for Aurora. There's the Nexus.
Yep, Nexus goes down. We do see the natural expansion for FallenDemise is now done. Drones beginning to flood down there.
You know, this Nexus is a little bit later than the last game, because the last game we saw the Gateway, the Nexus, then the Cyber and Forge. But he decided to get warp gate a little bit earlier this game, so I wonder if he has something in mind. We are seeing that probe there on patrol. Maybe going to go ahead and put down a proxy pylon somewhere. And looks like it's probably it's on a rally to scout out his bot, so maybe not.
Yeah, and we still might see a proxy pylon get put down here. That is definitely something that obviously you want to do, but a lot of players forget to do.
Wow.
I mean, like, you see it quite often where it's like, wow, that push would have gone a lot better had I, put a proxy pylon up.
Look at that tight wall off.
That is tight.
Very well done.
That is really tight. Second gateway going down now.
You're
right
awful, man.
What?
Nothing. Second gas down.
Did I miss a dirty joke? I feel like I did. Or you were attempting to make
No, I'm pretty sure that was intentional, man. We can stop talking about it now, though.
Some days, sir. Some days.
But Roach Warren, FallenDemise, and another gateway for Aurora, as well as a photon cannon. Definitely feeling secure here at the natural, we have the Zerg player slightly ahead on income, but Proto boosting out those workers is definitely going to help Aurora keep on par with FallenDemise here.
Yeah, and it's interesting that we still have yet to not see a Stargate. So this is a slight variation from the last build, unless something changes now.
You can't always trick your opponent with the same things, and I'm sure Aurora has that in mind. He's definitely not dealing with a low-skilled Zerg player. We do see the Spore Crawler already in the main for FallenDemise, already prepared for that sort of Oracle play. Although the Stargate is going down as well, again.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those... Oh, and we have a Nidus Canal going down.
Uh-oh.
In the base of FallenDemise. I do like that play a lot. It's definitely nice to see a breath of fresh air in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, we do see the Overlord here at the bottom of the main of Aurora, so possibly going to put that to good use. I mean, there's no way... Ooh, okay, that Mothership Port is on patrol. There's no way this is going to get spotted. These buildings are completely out of the way. This could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, unless Aurora puts a pylon like right down here on this little peninsula, this is gonna be tough.
Though we will see that Phoenix. Oh, he canceled the Phoenix and made a Void Ray instead. I wonder what caused that. If it was a misclick or intentional.
Oh, and here we go. We got the one up into the Nidus network. The Overlord is in position that can see up on top of there, and we're gonna see a Nidus network, and I am excited for it.
This is gonna be awesome, though. Look at the clusterfuck of buildings here at the natural for Aurora.
Holy crap!
And there
Talk
goes
about
that Nidus
City.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Nidus Worm is gonna finish up here in the corner of the base,
And I think it's gonna be problematic for Aurora to deal with here. Everything's out of place. This is a lot of roaches, and I don't think Aurora's going to be able to deal with this. Wow.
Yeah, 3 gateways worth of stuff is definitely not enough to deal with this.
There is the Void Ray, though.
And the Mothership Core, but this is going to do a lot of economic damage, really.
Definitely. Losing all kinds of workers. The Photon Overcharge and the Prismatic Alignment roaches are going to eventually pick up. Decided to go into the natural instead and take some few hits from the Photon Cannons, but is definitely going to get some worker kills there.
Yeah, and while the main gets cleaned up, there's still these roaches in the natural.
Yeah.
That wall in is very tight this time. Hew.
And 13 workers killed for FallenDemise. And another Nidus network going down here, but not on top where that Zealot is standing there, but perhaps just to reinforce a wave
Yeah, I do. I like that play a lot. Even if you can't use it to continue to harass your opponent like you did, still put it up there so that you can just flood reinforcements. They don't have to run through the middle of the map. There's no risk of them getting spotted. It's just straight to it.
And we also see the third for FallenDemise is done. So I mean, it looks like Aurora is placing all sorts of buildings around here to just kind of protect himself from any sort of large push, and it almost seems like he's just going to fall behind at this point. He has lost a lot of workers. Ooh, and Aurora does spot that Nidus Swarm, but is he going to be able to do anything about that?
Though, I kind of feel like at this point, Aurora is in a pretty rough spot, just as a whole. Because that Nidus came in, you weren't, like, it's obviously one of those things you weren't expecting, and we do see another
Nidus network, Nidus all over the place.
It's just Monday.
It's just truly a Nidus net. There ever was one.
I mean, like, it's definitely nice to see this. This is a breath of fresh air into how Zerg usually plays this matchup out.
And we do see Aurora pushing out, feeling threatened, of course. And those Void Rays, it's definitely going to do a number on those roaches there, but the Hydras have shown up.
Oh, and actually keeping those Hydras pretty well hidden out. He is going to see the Nidus network up here.
Great force field blocking those Hydras from being able to keep Void Rays. And burrowing the roaches. Great call to let him heal up there. Losing the Hydra, sadly. Some sacrifices have to be made.
That's right. The Nidus is still here. More Lings and Hydras going to come through that Nidus network.
And we will see how much damage these Hydras can actually do to the Void Rays. The Void Rays are going to try to focus them down. It looks like they're going to get one Void Ray, meanwhile losing.
Prismatic Alignment is on cooldown still, though.
Well, Prismatic Alignment does not increase damage to the Hydras because they're light units, but still.
It still adds a nice little boost, and it looks cool. Why not?
Definitely. Really, Aurora is probably feeling very frustrated at this point, trying to deal with, being able to defeat those earlier pushes of FallenDemise, but being contained to 2 bases is just one of the worst feelings, though. Doing something about it with the Zealot Warp in here at the third.
Oh, and the unprotected third is going to get...
Queen dies, and it looks like these Zealots are just going to have a field day here on these drones.
Yeah, they're getting kind of bear-mauled here, and the drones get...
They're going to start to work on that hatchery. If he can take down this third, it could bring him back into the game.
Though, I think that's really the only thing that he's kind of got going for him at this point.
Yeah, there is a pretty big ball here of Roach Hydra and Lings at the natural for Aurora. Zealots are going to get cleaned up here by the Roaches and Lings. Still, the damage is done. FallenDemise has lost his third base. Meanwhile, the workers killed for Aurora. It's risen to 7. To the 13 of FallenDemise.
And this army just in front of Aurora's base is continuing to grow slowly but surely. It does look like FallenDemise is going to go ahead and retake that 4th base. Or third base, excuse me.
I do think FallenDemise needs to add to that Hydra count, though, because, I mean, the Void Rays are just growing in number, and Zealots to keep the fire off them are also going to be pretty effective here. Is he going to engage, though? Doesn't look like he's quite ready to go ahead and engage.
Yeah, that is a lot of Void Rays. I feel like this engagement could go really well for him if he does decide to engage it, because like you said, there's not really that many Hydras here, especially with an Immortal on the way and Zealots on the ground and even an Oracle up in that flock. That's a lot of damage waiting to happen.
And one of the proxy pylons for Aurora has been spotted and taken out, and there is a second one there. So he still has the potential to do a Zealot run by, but another Nidus network.
Yeah, I really like this play of Nidus networks from FallenDemise. It is really nice to see.
It can really be anywhere at any time.
Yeah. It definitely helps with the mobility issue that Roach Hydra has in being very, very slow, even with the speed boosts and whatnot. It still makes it a very slow composition to try and run around with.
You know, and the upgrades for FallenDemise are also pulling ahead of his opponent. You know, the Zealots here are at 0-1. Same with the Void Rays. Meanwhile, 1-2 for the Roach Hydra composition here for FallenDemise. We're going to see an engagement here.
Oh, here we go.
Losing a few units
The
needlessly.
only part of the army engaging. That
Even
knight is
so,
gonna get taken down.
great time lurks there by Aurora. But prismatic alignment is up. Aurora didn't really take much damage there. Pretty good decision there to back out. And also, yep, another Zealot Warpin from Aurora here to do some damage to the third. And that's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, definitely it is. You never want to have to spend more than 1 or 2 hatcheries on one location in that sense.
Can you give me the time of the replay? Because I accidentally.
I'm at 1858. 19 minutes, call it.
Keep going while I seek here.
Zero, where are you at?
I think we might be good here. I just hit the 20-minute mark, or 20 minutes and 10 seconds.
Well, I have to go forward.
That's all right.
Well, we're gonna fast forward a little bit.
We can just keep going here. Also, that sneaky base there in the bottom right for Aurora. Probably not going to get spot, but he's desperate for a third here, where he's going to fall behind, though. He's got to engage the Roaches and Hydras. Uh-oh. Neither player is just ready to actually commit to this engagement just yet. And these are definitely both sizable calls. It's not what I intended there with that.
We got level 2 ground weapons on the way. Blink is also researching. I mean, at this point, yeah, this is a pretty lethal combo. Like we said last game, Blink Stalker Immortal is still a really good composition, especially when backed up by heavier units, obviously like the Void Rays and Oracles.
You're going to see a massive engagement here in the middle of the map. Roaches and Hydras. Oh no. The Void Rays are being taken care of. The Roaches are all dead. And the Hydras. Definitely that harass there, the Zealots from Aurora will be able to keep him in the game while people FallenDemise on his toes, and it really cost that engagement there.
Yeah, definitely.
Off of 2 bases, able to max up, so definitely like that. We'll see these Hydras here retreat back into the Nidus network. Oh. So really, you know, we do see the snuck third base there that, you know, the Lynx will spot for Aurora. But, so he is effectively, still contained to 2 bases, with the first base just about mined out. And meanwhile, FallenDemise still on that third base, hasn't expanded to a 4th just yet, and he hasn't been able to finish off the Protoss player. And we are at 23 minutes in the game, and this really does say something about Aurora's ability to be out macroed, but still able to hold on for this long.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a testament to some really good, scrappy play of Aurora.
Another Nidus network going down for FallenDemise. And going to move back the Roaches and Hydras into the Nidus in his main in order to quickly get them across the map there.
And we do have an Ultralisk Cavern just about done now for Fallen as well.
As well as Carapace level 3 and Missile Attacks level 3.
I'm really enjoying watching this Nidus play, being very, very pesky with them.
Yeah, you don't often see stuff like this, and it's really creative and really, it's been effective thus far, though. I don't know, this engagement, there are lots of Immortals, but there are plenty of Hydralisks, so those Roaches are going to get taken care of pretty quickly. You know, just FallenDemise being forced to retreat there. You know, Aurora has solidified that third base, and I think Aurora is effectively just back to his powerhouse position. no longer feeling too threatened by the Zerg opponent, has been able to hold it off for this long, and I think, I don't think FallenDemise is going to be able to take the lead.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's getting to a point now where, you keep throwing, and you just get frustrated with what you're doing, and that's when the mistakes start to happen. And that's
Focusing down third for Aurora, that was great for FallenDemise. So Aurora definitely has the money to just go ahead and place it. We'll see if he decides to do that. Actually going for a Stalker Warping instead of replacing that Nexus. I think, after losing that third, he does Reinforcement Warping, and he's just content to go ahead and move out. I think he feels that FallenDemise has been on 3 bases, if not 4, he doesn't quite know. And if he really allows his opponent to just deny his expansions like this any longer, he's just going to fall too far behind. And I think this is a good decision for him to just go ahead and move out. He just won an engagement and got a decent-sized Warping, Reinforcement Warping, and he's able to just go ahead and push his opponent pretty confidently. When FallenDemise putting all of his units into the Nidus network to try and bring him back home, he's going to need them. FallenDemise does lose that third base. Just about, and there it goes. Trying to burrow those drones, but you do have an observer for doors. They're all cleaned up. Wow, this game has just been fantastic so far. FallenDemise just containing his opponent, but just couldn't actually do the final blow. Meanwhile, Aurora, 2 bases, actually 3 bases for just a little while. The deathball status just pushed his opponent. Great fungals there. FallenDemise, I think his opponent actually advancing. I don't think it's going to be enough there. Just aren't enough. This number of portals here just still. And there we see good game. So Aurora able to take this series up to a 2-0. Are we ready to move on to game 3?
Yes, and way to go.
I'm watching the stream right now, and it looks like you guys are just about finished here. Sorry about that. Well, that's fine. Oh no, that was fine. Sorry about that, man. That was my fault. Ken, you should have. I don't know.
I told you where I was. So
yeah,
you
and
were the one that said to keep going.
Well, I meant you keep going. While I found where you were in the replay.
Well, and then you went to 19 minutes and then just started talking. So.
Well, you told me you were at like 1958, and I was like, all right.
No, I said I was at 1858.
I'm sorry.
So give me 1 second. The dog is being crazy again. So.
Okay.
That's all right. No,
sorry about that, guys.
No, it's okay. Watching separately, this is a pain in the butt, man.
Yeah. Though, that little hiccup there was actually my fault because I accidentally fast forwarded or rewound or something like that.
Oh, that's not
mid replay. So
whoopsies.
I'll make sure not to get that. Let that happen again. So, though the entire season 2 is going to be this way because all these games were played before the patch that was just released, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
So we might be able to find out a way to do this a little bit better with maybe screen sharing or something like that. But as Faust was saying earlier, there would still be a little bit of delay.
Yeah, I mean, even if we screen share it over Skype, or if you guys watch the stream, you're still behind with the stream, unless like, I don't know, I would have to like stream to you guys, and then you guys would stream the stream.
Yeah,
that would be really really awkward.
Yeah, that would be kind of strange.
I think the countdown method works As long as
It does, as long as I don't fuck up every.
as long as you
So-
don't shit the bed, yeah.
Yeah, that was the second bed shitting of the night. I really apologize, guys.
Oh.
That's all right though. It's just,
Yeah, no, it's worked. I mean, the first couple of games went really smoothly.
yeah, they were
so
good. And you know, that was a pretty good game.
Yeah. We'll be all right.
We will move on to game 3 here as soon as Woodhouse is back from letting his dog again. You know, the third time. I'm telling you, man. I think that dog got into my coffee.
Yeah. I don't know. Stole your coffee and ran back home.
Ionic Shaver telling us that he has potato internet at work. I'm sorry to hear that, man. But you can still hang out in the chat. We'd very much appreciate that.
Glad you're here anyway. Whether you can. watch
Exactly.
it. Yeah. Well, I just realized too we're talking to him and he probably can't hear us.
No shit, right? The third betting shitting of the night. Just
No.
it's all over the place. Wow.
Oh man.
Here. Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, he will, won't he?
Well, we shall now move on to game 3, and you have the replay, right? I will just.
Yeah, I
set-
got the
set-
replay. Let's. I'll load it up and we'll just wait on.
All right. Yeah, I'll just wait around at 0 seconds until Woodhouse
Yeah, that's
is done watering the dog or whatever it is
watering.
that he does. Milking the dog. I don't know.
No. No, I don't think so. Jeez.
What? And here we are.
All right,
Pause there.
we're set. Whenever Woodhouse gets back, we'll wait for him to load it up.
Awesome. Is there a way to actually disable the replay bar in GameHeart or
Control Shift O.
Nice. That'll actually be pretty useful.
Yep.
So I don't actually.
I do that on stream, so everybody's not like, "Oh, this game ends in 3 minutes."
Yeah. I didn't know if they just usually put an overlay up there or something like that, but yeah, that works. That works just fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks.
Yep. Then you just hit D for production.
So, yeah. Have a good night, Lan. It looks like you were heading off. Yeah, gotta go work tomorrow. Thanks for joining us today. And we'll be glad to have you next time. We still have Cadwa here in the chat. And Omega's hanging out. The gang's all here. And I saw ZRQ also showed up for a little while up there.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. He's always got Omega's channel open.
I was gonna say he's
So
always an Omega.
I mean,
And I try to
Omega.
talk to him. He doesn't answer.
Yeah, he at least always has one viewer, and you know
Yeah.
we check the viewer list. It's like ZRQ, are you here? I mean,
Yeah.
he'll even like talk to him on stream, and he's
Yeah.
just gone. He's idling in the chat.
I tried talking to him, and then he replied like 4 hours later.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. how's it work?"
Oh, hey, I didn't see this until. Oopsies.
So, our next game is on Yansu Lighter Edition, again between Aurora and FallenDemise.
I actually really like the layout of Yansu. I mean,
I
some,
do.
Some
I think
people, I think, say that Protoss has an advantage for sure, but I think that it's pretty good for Zerg as well. I mean, the third is pretty easy to take.
Yeah, it's pretty open. There are multiple attack paths, although as long as you can break down some rocks and get in multiple ways.
Right, and
Right.
that makes it harder for Terran and Protoss.
And
Usually
third
wall in.
is-
The Zerg can definitely get around the back and cause some trouble there. So.
Yeah, the third there is definitely a little bit out of place. hard to defend for a Protoss or Terran player, I would say, especially when the Zerg can either wrap around or just go straight up that ramp there.
Yeah, and once the creep is spread between the natural and the third, it's kind of all over as far as harassing that is concerned.
It's also a pretty map as well, cut into two, a grassy side and a snowy side.
Oh yeah, it's always nice to see conflicting tile sets.
It reminds me of home.
Home?
Hey, Woodhouse, they should rename Yansu to Montana Ladder Edition.
Montana
well,
LE?
in Canada, so I mean, like, it'd be like Montana in Canada.
Say what?
Montana.
Great Falls is basically Canada.
I don't
Let's
live
be
in Great
real.
Falls, man. That place is a shithole, and I'm not going back.
You say that now.
Ionic Shaver can confirm, but sadly he can't watch the video because his potato internet is not good enough. So he can't hear me right now.
Because
Anyway,
potatoes.
are you in the replay for Game 3?
I am. I am ready to go.
You ready to go, Zero?
All right, yep, all set. Counter down.
Let's try it. Let's try not to have any hiccups this
I'm
time.
sorry. I'm gonna hit Control-O, hide the replay bar as soon as I hit play, so I don't accidentally click shit. So it's gonna be a good time, okay?
All right.
All right, are you ready?
I am ready.
2, 1, play.
All right. Spawning up here on the top right-hand side of Yansu, we do have the red Protoss player who's shown us some pretty impressive play the last couple of games. We do have Aurora.
And in the bottom left, he needs to win this game or lose the series because he is down to 2 games. FallenDemise, our purple Zerg.
So what do you think we're going to see? Is this going to be a throwaway game out of Aurora, or is it going to be...
It certainly could be. I mean, this is a pretty early probe here. There's no pylon in the base for Aurora. So I don't know what we're going to see here.
Oh, shit.
They're trying to sneak around there. Oh, notices the creep. Oh, he's going to go for it.
We saw something like this out of Bales in the WCS North America, if this is in fact what I think it's going to be, which it doesn't appear to be.
It looks like Aurora deciding not to go ahead and go through with that sneaky play that I think was going to happen there, but just noticing that the opponent had creep and realizing that FallenDemise is not a low-skilled player and you probably easily know what's up as soon as you probe into space that early. So
yeah.
Actually, no gateway, just going for that gas after getting that pylon up. And there goes the gateway. That early gas, what do you think we're going to see out of that?
Wasn't this gas before gate? Obviously, it's something that's very, very tech-oriented. The timing of the gas, obviously indicative of how quickly you want your tech, and since he went gas before even gateway, I would say probably DTs, or maybe even a very, very early Oracle.
That is definitely a possibility. He's only got 2 workers on the gas, so just slowly getting that in there. But obviously wants to get a hit on the gas early on. So yeah, I would say DTs or Oracle. Either of those could be very devastating rushes.
Maybe DT expand, something like that. I'm not 100% on that. It's been a while since I've looked at stuff like that, so we'll have to definitely see. No, he is placing the pylon down here, which I would almost... I don't know, it kind of throws off what I was thinking was going to happen.
I mean, the early gas definitely, unless it was a misclick, which I really don't think it was, definitely makes us expect some sort of early stuff coming out of Aurora. And as we've said, this is definitely the game to do it. He's up 2-0, and if he wants to try some all-in or some cheesy gimmicky play, and it works, he's taking away the series really early. But if it doesn't work, he can afford to lose that game.
Yeah, and this is definitely the time you want to do something like that if you're going to.
And he does have plenty of gas to go ahead and get Warp Gate, but it doesn't look like he's actually researching that just yet.
And what's this drone doing? This drone is actually going to go ahead and take a very, very quick third.
Wow.
So pretty standard play coming out of FallenDemise as well.
Yeah, I feel that if there was any sort of rush coming out of Aurora, with that second base there, I almost don't feel like it's going to happen. But if there was something kind of gimmicky, FallenDemise would be pretty spread thin at this point.
Yeah.
Might be able to do some damage with that. But there goes the forge, so I don't know. I don't really know what to say about that early gas.
Yeah, I think he might have a plan for it. Just, well, I mean, like the early mothership core would definitely be one use. I think that's one thing. I know I definitely forgot about the mothership core in this instance, but that's one quick use that you can get, and then to get warp gate right after it. 150 gas in the early game is a lot.
Yeah.
So, and we do see, or at least we saw a Stargate, and he decides to go for an early Robo instead of a Stargate. So changing it up a little bit here in this game. I do like the decision though.
And also, I don't know if you caught the Zealot there that was doing a little bit of fun stuff at the Natural for FallenDemise. Was actually able to save it. He's chilling down there about the middle.
See him now.
Map. Yeah.
Guy's a boss. He has a whopping 2 kills, which is a lot for this point.
2 Zerglings and 34 health left. It's worth it.
YOLO.
He's YOLOing right now.
He's YOLO.
Right down there to scout the third.
Yeah, he is YOLOing the shit out of this. Gonna get picked on by some lings, sadly.
Like I said before, some sacrifices have to be made. Aurora is now aware of that third base.
Is he gonna be able to save it? I don't think he's going to. Nope. Slowly but surely, the Zealot is going to die, sadly.
These real gangsta ass niggas don't run fast. No comment. I figured you enjoyed a reference to that song.
Oh, I did. I enjoyed it. We've seen Immortal coming out now in more gateways, so we are up to 4 gateways, 1 Robo. And maybe we're going to see the Immortal Archon charge lock build, which would be, I think, really fun to see.
You know what? I don't know about you, but I want to see the double Immortal drop. We know where that originated.
Yes,
Wink,
we do.
wink. And against Zerg, I mean, I don't know if that's the best way to go, but it would be really fun to watch that sort of stuff. War Prism Micro is always a lot of fun to see.
So we're up to 5, 6 gateways. Is this going to be the J Lely 6 gate 1 Robo all in off of 2 base?
I don't know, but that was actually a 1 base play from Skora.
For Skora, not J Lely. Oh my god, I've got.
J Lely was our Zerg player, man.
That's right.
Just losing your mind right now, but indeed. 1 Robo, 6 gates off of 1 base was not the best all in, but we do have Aurora here on 2 bases, so that's perfectly fine.
I would almost, like, if Aurora decides to attack out of this, I would almost. This is very, very reminiscent of Blade Wings of Liberty with the.
I was gonna say, like the Soul Train, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was about to get to. Very.
The Immortal Sentry.
All in.
Yes. And that could be really fun to watch here. We do have the Immortals. We do have a couple sentries out. I'm pretty interested to see where this goes.
I'm going to call it as such right now.
Oh yeah?
I'm going to say this is the parting build.
Then that was definitely a good call for that early gas here, because when you've got sentries and Immortals, you want your gas as early as possible. Though we are lacking the 4th geyser here at Natural for Aurora. That's probably intentional.
At this point though, I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like it was an intentional thing.
Especially, I mean, he's obviously aware of it.
Yeah.
So I don't think he meant to get that gas. Though, I mean, if he was going to go solely sentries and Immortals, kind of need a little bit of extra gas there. But also, look, it's queued up after that Immortal. There's a War Prism, so I think that's what we're going to see, man.
Definitely, maybe a harass. I don't know.
Yeah, and we also see a 4th base for FallenDemise thrown down there.
That has a potential to be a little scary for.
Also a 5th. Wow.
For Aurora. If FallenDemise actually gets these bases up, this push is just going to straight away fail due to the amount of production that his opponent has.
As far as Aurora knows, his opponent is only on 3 bases, but he has no idea about that 3rd, excuse me, the 4th and 5th base. And he's also on 2 bases himself, but I think this is going to be a pretty big push. We see 3 Immortals, several sentries, a Warp Prism, and I think we called it perfectly, man.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We called this as an Immortal all-in, and that's exactly what it's going to be. But then again, this might be just a throwaway build. I mean, like, you might have something planned to say, like, I want to go to a game 4, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly, like we were saying, this is the game to do something kind of new and even outdated, I suppose.
Well, and I don't even think it's outdated anymore. This build gets used, I'm sure, quite a bit, like on the pro scene. I haven't seen it very often lately, but I'm sure it still gets used.
And this 4th here is going to fall quite quickly with these mechanics here. And we will see what FallenDemise decides to do about it. He's got a few hydras, a handful of roaches here at the third, between the third and the natural. And I love that Hallucinated Phoenix to scout ahead and see what the opponent's got before you decide to go in and engage. So
I would like to see another warp in though, and here we do get the warp prison. I'm going to warp in.
there we go. I love that. That's
I feel
excellent.
like we're missing some zealots though.
Zealots would be the icing on the cake right now, just to kind of soak up that damage. Aurora is still content, to go with this push and sit back on 2 bases. And another reinforcement warping probably gonna happen here. Look at so many hallucinated immortals. Oh no. This is gonna be pretty crazy here.
I like-
finally happens.
I kind of like this actually. Now that I'm seeing it kind of progress.
Ooh. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was not good.
All of those wasted stalkers, like the warp prison taken up. But oh my gosh, this engagement is not going too well. We definitely needed that extra warp. There are a lot of pilots and a lot of DPS. I don't think this is going to go over as well as we thought it might have gone.
No, and I think he doesn't necessarily realize that warping got canceled.
Yeah.
I think that extra round of stalkers would have made a world of difference.
Wow. And there's the GG.
Yeah.
So definitely, realize that. I mean, I feel like if he was in a different position as far as being ahead or behind in the series, he definitely would not have GG'd that early. But kind of just went with a bit of a creative build, and didn't quite work out for him.
Yeah. I will say that was a nice refresher to see, because that's something you really don't see that often from really anybody anymore. Like I said, it's probably still used, but not nearly as often as it was back in early Heart of the Swarm or anything like that.
It's really fun to see the old builds that we would see all the time in big tournaments in Wings of Liberty. So, alrighty, well, shall now go on to Game 4. We'll see if actually our Zerg friend can actually come back. I'm apparently having issues connecting to BattleNet, but I don't think that matters.
No, it really doesn't. You can get to the replays on offline mode.
You are in offline mode. All right. Well, let's boot up Game 4 here. We're all good to go. No breaks needed. Well, yeah, I figured that you'd be here loading, but if you don't need a break, then we will just load up here. Game 4 on Belshir Vestige Ladder Edition. So now that our Zerg opponent, or at least our Zerg player opponent of Aurora, has a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, I think it's going to take almost another throwaway like we just had for Aurora to drop the series. Aurora is playing really well.
Definitely.
And I would say has the stronger game out of these two, at least at this juncture.
All right, so let's get a countdown going. You guys ready to go?
I am.
Not yet.
Zero, are you playing on a potato? I don't want to see your potato.
He said, "Got a potato sack, you." Chuck Norris doesn't teabag; he potato sacks. All right.
That's what did it.
And 3, 2, 1, play.
All right, spawning up here on the top left-hand side of Belshir Vestige, LE, up in the series 2-1. Aurora trying to put it away in this game.
And FallenDemise on the bottom right, our purple Zerg player. And he's definitely got to take this game away, or else once again, just as in the last game, if he loses, he's out of the series. And he needs to win this and bring it up to essentially a best of 1.
Yeah, being able to reset this series at at a best of 1 is definitely an advantage because you've definitely thrown the other player on tilt, and you're kind of making him bring his best stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if Aurora has any fun builds up his sleeve after what we saw in that last game there. He's been doing something relatively different each game. Obviously, that third game we watched was quite a bit different from the first two. First two were a little similar, but small changes in the overall build resulted in larger changes in the overall composition. Uh-oh.
Oh, sweet mother of God.
I don't know, man. Is this what we think it is?
There's a forge going down. That can only mean one thing.
It can mean two things, man.
No, no, not in this case. I'm calling it.
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh no.
Cannon rush at the natural, or is he gonna go right for the main?
Oh my God. This is not good. This is not good.
He realizes that he can't afford to lose another game, so like we said, he's just gonna go ahead and try something out.
Oh, this is bad.
FallenDemise knows what's going on. He sees that pylon. And he's pulling drones to try and deal with it. 2 more drones on the way. He's got that early pool.
Oh my God, nice wall in though.
Oh wow, yeah, that was excellent.
That is fantastic.
I think he's done this before, and there goes the first cannon.
This ain't his first rodeo.
Let's see if he gets that cancel. I don't think he'll probably cancel. Saving those 75 minerals for another cannon. Just fine. This is gonna hurt. He's probably gonna lose some of these drones here. There's really not a whole lot FallenDemise can do about it. The spawning pool just finished. He's gonna have to drop a spine somewhere, sometime.
Yeah, and this was definitely a good way to open this game. Now the hatchery is gonna. Oh, nice pick on that cancel.
Yeah. And now, effectively, Aurora is, I don't know, like the 350 minerals out.
You know what, though? That was definitely worth it to drop his own Nexus down right now.
And also get cannons up at home. So
Yeah.
I think he's going to be really safe.
Yeah, your opponent has to go through and rebuild his natural completely since he didn't allow that natural to finish. And you're just starting yours. So you're actually ahead at the moment, even though you invested 400, 500 minerals into that. That was still definitely worth it.
You know, I wonder if we're going to see a big follow-up from Aurora, like a follow-up push off of this. I mean, I'm assuming that this is exactly how he wanted this to play out. And he did pretty much deny that natural, although we do see FallenDemise, went ahead and got that third as a typical response. But he's definitely still thrown off, and he won't be able to get that natural until he's able to take out that Photon cannon. Meanwhile, back at home, we have a cyber core going down and a few more gateways, and the double gas in production there. And the nice thing about going forwards first is you have the ability to start on your upgrades really quickly.
Yeah, at this point, though, I don't think, you may see a 1-1 thrown in, but I don't think the intent at this point is to fast upgrade. I think he'll saturate this base. You'll see 5 or 6 gateways total out of him, and I feel like you'll see like another pseudo-immortal all in.
With the double gas, and I wonder if you'll actually start throwing down gas on the natural here at some point. At least you have the opportunity to go ahead and grab an upgrade or two if you decide to. Because if it is a sort of a upgrade timing push, it could be pretty devastating, especially when your opponent is down a base and not able to take their natural, and really they don't have a whole lot of anything. He's got 8 lings in production. He's just going to be droning up for a little while. When really you're completely on your feet and your opponent has been completely thrown off, that might just be enough to win you the game.
Yeah, and this Overlord actually going to get picked off slowly but surely by that cannon, and he does escape.
And 2 more gateways thrown down for Aurora at the top of the main base. So he's got a total of 5 gateways right now. And also, there goes ground attack level 1, excuse me. And also warp gates in production. And, the photon cannon is finally getting taken out. His wings in between there. And FallenDemise is able to secure that expansion. But I'm hoping to see a proxy pylon somewhere that isn't going to die here.
You know, a proxy pylon would be good, but I also feel like a warp prism play would be really good here, just because its
Yeah.
ability to be that mobile pylon.
You know, and we might see that the Robo is going down. It's about a third of the way done. Warp prism would be a lot of fun to see, just like we saw that last time. As long as it worked out a little bit better, that engagement there in that last game was a bit slot.
Well, and I think we established the missed warbid was a bad thing, obviously.
Yeah.
Would you see the proxy pylon going down here on the left-hand side of the map? And there's actually 2 of them here.
There it is. You know, I like that he places down 2. It's almost like, you know, the new mind game. You know, your opponent finds your proxy pylon. Oh, okay. You know, I've taken care of that. Little do they know there's another one nearby.
Oh, and here's the warp in. So we do have an Immortal in production out of that rover facility. But we're going to get a little bit of a push here by Aurora and another proxy pylon going down even further forward.
Oh, wow. And the +1 attack does finish for this push. And the double gas is thrown down at the natural. So he will have that ability to pump out either more upgrades or more immortals. And I think this is going to be pretty devastating here, considering his opponent doesn't even have a road more. It's going to be all lings.
And I like that play, actually, leading with the probe there. So the probe soaks up the initial shots from the spine crawler, leaving your zealots basically unharmed. This one zealot actually took full shield damage, but didn't take any other damage. So that was a really good play.
And that engagement just going over very well for Aurora, just taking care of that third base really easily. Spine crawler being dropped at the natural for FallenDemise, just kind of that desperation spine crawler. 2 of them actually going down, 1 of them already finished, and you know, he's really trying to crank out those lings there. See if he actually has enough larvae to create enough units to hold this off. This is pretty scary.
You know what, I like this play by Aurora, because you deny the second and then you turn around and immediately attack the third. So it's you have an idea of what your opponent's doing and you force him basically to your will, and we get some good transfusions.
Yeah, trying to keep that spine alive. Inevitably falls. The reinforcement zealots are there. This is not looking good at all. This timing attack is just devastating. A few roaches pop out, but I still don't think it's enough.
No, I think this is too little too late. No, he may stem this tide, but another warp-in definitely is the downfall of this.
Yeah, Aurora was focusing on that hatchery, and that is why those roaches were able to take out all the zealots. And that's okay, though. I mean, FallenDemise is now forced to make units not grown, stuck on 2 bases. Meanwhile, Aurora is actually cranking out an immortal now. More stalkers. And +1 armor is just about to finish for him.
Oh, good transfuse on that queen.
Yeah, when +1 armor finishes, I think, you know, even the stalkers are going to be able to compete here with the roaches. So we do have even more stalkers in production there. Not going for a zealot backup. He's got 2 immortals hanging out at home. I wonder if they just can't get through that hole or something. This
is not good. He actually managed to supply block Fallen.
Oh, that is not what he needs.
No, at this point, like, that's the last thing you want to see, is you want to see those 2 red numbers right up on top of your screen.
Also, Protoss ground weapons level 2 and Blink now in production for Aurora. Looks like he's gonna keep on the pressure here by moving these stalkers down to the 3rd base and deny that once again. 2 more spines in production for FallenDemise, just to ensure that he has that extra layer of defense if he's ever threatened at the natural again. And I really think these immortals need to join the fray. It looks like 2 of them are there, and there is a 3rd in production. So these immortals are going to be crucial to this push here, to obliterate the roaches and spine crawlers.
Yeah, this push just got infinitely more potent with them being there, and the good force field wrapped those roaches.
Completely annihilating the front line of roaches there. Losing 1 stalker, 2 stalkers. Not sustaining a whole lot of damage just now. This push is going to be unstoppable.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Exactly. And the natural will fall here at any time. That'll be the
Yeah, I think this is how this play is supposed to work out. We just saw a little bit of a misstep last time.
You know, last time we saw him go for that initial pylon there, and the GG from FallenDemise. Aurora takes this series 4-1.
So there we go.
But yeah, in that last game, we did see that initial probe kind of peeking in there to try to place down a pylon or a cannon or something, as long as you had a forge at home. But didn't actually decide to go through with it. But definitely, that early cannon rush was able to throw FallenDemise off enough that he could follow up with a big push like this.